Well, today Chicago's a city of champions, and 24 hours after the Chicago Blackhawks clinched their third Stanley Cup in the last 6 years, they made a victory lap around Wrigley tonight before the Indians and the Cubs get going here on Comcast Sportsnet. Great to have you with us. Hockey weather here at the ballpark. Jim DeShays and Len Casper. That was pretty cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, electric atmosphere in the ballpark with that Cup parade and all these young Cub players getting a sense of what it means to win a championship in this city.
Well, the Cubs are playing good baseball. They're 7 over 500 for the first time this year. A couple of back-to-back walk-off wins over the weekend.
Yeah, late goal scored by Starlin Castro in back-to-back games to beat the Cincinnati Reds. The Cubs have won 8 games in walk-off fashion. That's the most in Major League Baseball. They have 12 wins in their final at-bat. That also the most in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, Castro coming up with the big hit. But one reason the Cubs have been allowed to win these games late here the last couple of weeks is a bullpen that is in a very good stretch.
Yeah, it's ironic, isn't it? Because it wasn't that long ago we were talking about the bullpen struggles, but they've had to carry a lot of the load lately, a lot of innings out of this bullpen, and they've been really good. You take a look at their last 8 ball games, 6 wins for the club, 30 2/3 innings covered by the bullpen with an .088 earned run average.
Kyle Schwarber is here for the rest of the week. We'll talk more about this Indians club when we come back, but it's all about the Blackhawks here in Chicago. Joe Madden raising the cup. We'll have baseball from Wrigley Field next. Let's send it out to Kelly Kroll, who's standing by with a big Cub fan.
That's right. Thanks a lot, Lynn. Here with Scott Darling. Just describe the last 24 hours. You've got the Cup here at Wrigley. You're showing it off.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to put into words. It's been an unbelievable experience. Last night was one of the greatest nights of my life. Thrilled to be a part of it.
Okay, you're a big Cubs fan. Tell us, is this the next trophy that needs to come to town?
I hope so. I like their future. Great young infield. You know, signing Lester is huge. Been a Cubs fan my whole life. It's pretty amazing to walk out on the field after coming to so many games here.
It looks a little different, doesn't it?
It does. It does. It's amazing. It looks great. You know, the updates are awesome. It looked great. The guys looked excited. You know, it's been great.
They were excited. Guys?
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Scott Darling. And here's the Cleveland Indians Southwest starting lineup. Only their 3rd trip to the north side of Chicago since interleague play began. Jason Kipnis, he's from Northbrook, Illinois, and he's off to a fantastic start. Francisco Lindor, switch hitting shortstop, first major league start. Brantley coming off a great year last year. Carlos Santana walks a ton. Brandon Moss is in right. Yan Gomes, the catcher. It's Michael Bourne in center, the veteran. Giovanni Urshela is playing third. Trevor Bauer, the pitcher, hitting ninth.
Defense for the Cubs this evening. Coughlin, Fowler, Denorfia left, center, right. Third to first, Chris Bryant, Starlin Castro, Addison Russell, and Anthony Rizzo behind the plate. Miguel Montero, our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher, is Mr. Jake Arrieta. He's 29 years of age. He's made 12 starts. He's 6-4, has a 3.16 ERA. A little better than that here at home. His ERA at Wrigley this year is 2.88. 6 starts here in his home ballpark.
Get the umpires for you tonight. It's Phil Cuzzi back of the plate. Jerry Davis, the crew chief, is at first. Tony Randazzo, Lake Park High School alum, is at second, and Will Little is over at third. And we'd like to welcome all of our viewers watching tonight on I'm On in Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Yes, you are.
Congrats to the Chicago Blackhawks, and the crowd really got all jazzed up here. I mean, really ready to go at about 6:30.
That was fun stuff.
Obviously, if you had any flooding issues where you live, that is not good. But it was a fortuitous rainout, I would say, because last night this city belonged to the Hawks and the Cup.
Not to mention, we wouldn't have been able to leave the ballpark.
That is true. Jason Kipnis takes a strike from Jake Arrieta, and we are underway in this game that was postponed last night. Will be made up on August the 24th. We do not yet have a game time. So we're dry, but it's cold again. 54 with a wind out of the northeast at 8.
Sets up to be a pitcher's night.
Kipnis, a Glenbrook North High School graduate, bounces out to Addison Russell.
Of course, most nights when Arrieta pitches, it sets up to be a pitcher's night. Last year in this, he's been one of the best pitchers in the National League. Last time out, a win over Detroit. He worked 6 innings, allowed 8 hits, 3 runs, got a lot of run support. It was a 12-3 Cub win in that ball game. His previous start also a win over the Nationals. 6 innings of 1-run baseball in that start.
So here's Francisco Lindor. We've seen him a bit in spring training. He's 21 years old. He's 70 days, so I guess exactly 10 weeks older than Addison Russell. He came up from the minors on Sunday, switch hitting shortstop. The Indians took him 8th overall in the 2011 draft, 1 pick ahead of Javier Baez, and here was his first major league hit. He thought he had an extra base hit in Detroit, but he tripped on first base and then tried to blame it on Miguel Cabrera.
Cabrera. Dude, slow down.
Well, the Indians making a bunch of changes, JD, on the left side of their infield here over the last week or so. Jose Ramirez, Lonnie Chisenhall with a shortstop third base combo to begin the year. They were both sent to the minors. And there's Terry Francona, the former Cub. Inside, 3 balls and a strike.
I think the Indians feel very comfortable that they've upgraded defensively on the left side of the infield. It just depends on how well these young guys handle major league pitching for the first time. See what they get offensively out of him. Lindor profiles as a guy who's going to be a very good offensive player in time. Whether that happens right away remains to be seen. But, just look around this diamond with Russell and Bryant coming up, Lindor. Fusion of really young, talented players in the Major League Baseball in just the last few weeks.
Yep, we're going to see Byron Buxton with the Twins this weekend. Cubs bringing up Bryant and Russell. And today it's Schwarber. Joey Gallo, Carlos Correa. It's a long list around baseball. It's Dexter Fowler to make the catch. So 2 outs. There's Kyle Schwarber. Will be the DH most of the rest of the week. So he goes from AA to the big leagues to AAA. This is kind of like the layover, right? It's not a direct flight. Not a bad way to spend the week.
He was tearing it up down in AA, so he earned a promotion to AAA. The Cubs have these games against Cleveland and Minnesota coming up on the road where a DH will be needed, so it's a good fit to get Schwarber some at-bats here in the big leagues. Not so much to get Schwarber at bats, but to give you a guy who can really rake to come up and help you score runs.
Well, the bat probably could have played at this level right after he was drafted about a year ago. 4th overall pick out of Indiana. The 2-0 on Michael Brantley is in for a strike. It's 2-1. Last year he finished 3rd in the American League MVP voting. He's the son of former Major League outfielder Mickey Brantley. Mickey's name was Michael as well, so his son is a junior. 3-1.
Yeah, big year last year. Hit 327, 385 on base. He stole 23 bases, which was caught only once.
The Indians take a lot of walks. They do not strike out very much. 4th in the American League in OPS, but only 9th in runs, JD. And I guess runners in scoring position, they've struggled. They've left a lot of men on base. When you look at their lineup, they probably should be better than 9th. And right now, 4th place in their division.
Kind of like that Detroit team we just saw, where the numbers didn't necessarily add up. You thought they should be better than they were.
Fouled at the plate. We'll do another 3-2. Switch hitting Carlos Santana is on deck. See that number 7 patch on the right sleeve of the Indians uniforms. They're honoring the late Al Rosen, who passed away in March at the age of 91. Spent a decade with the Indians, won the MVP in 1953 as Brantley takes the walk. And here comes Santana, who leads the American League in walks.
I believe Al Rosen had the rookie home run record until Mark McGwire broke it.
Rosen, the only person in Major League history to win an MVP and Executive of the Year award. That was the GM of the Giants in 1987. Santana takes ball 1. The Cubs overshift to the right against him. Castro playing short, but really close to second base. So there's nobody over there on that left side. If Santana were to choose to try to lay down a bunt, which we were told he has done on occasion. By Montero is late.
Power cutter down and in, a go-to pitch for Arrieta against left-handed hitters. Santana is not hitting for average, but high on base percentage because of all the walks.
Fouled back. So we go to Cleveland after this one tonight. A couple of night games there. and then off to Minnesota for the weekend. For the rest of this week against the AL Central, and after tonight, American League rules through Sunday. And that's why Schwarber is here. Strike called, 2-2. Arrieta trying to get settled in, facing the Indians for the first time in 3 seasons. Chopped foul. Making him work 22 pitches here in the first inning. And he's run it full, 3-2. Rizzo playing behind Brantley at first. Brantley goes on the payoff pitch and it misses. 4-4. Back-to-back walks with 2 outs. That'll bring up Brandon Moss.
Yeah, it's the danger of the 3-2 breaking ball. It's a tougher pitch to throw in the zone, and you're hesitant to leave it in the zone. You know, if you got an aggressive hitter up there to swing and miss pitch, but Santana's so patient. Fairly predictable outcome there with that breaking ball down below the knees. A lot of guys are going to chase this one, but nobody has walked more frequently in the American League than that man.
So 47 walks on the year for Santana. Last year 113. That led the majors. Ball 1 on Brandon Moss.
And Moss will take his walks too, but he also strikes out a bunch.
Moss, a former farmhand of the Red Sox, 8th round pick in 02. Debuted in 07. He's been with the Pirates, the A's, the Phillies very briefly. And by far his best stint was with Oakland. 3 years, an All-Star last year, and an 844 OPS as a member of the Oakland A's.
And really a late bloomer. Moss now 31 years of age. His time with the Pirates, mostly a part-time player. Had 1 year, 2009, where he got a fair number of at-bats, 385 that year, hit 7 home runs, so nothing to really give a hint as to what would come when he moved to Oakland, other than the fact when you saw him take BP and you saw him get into one every now and then, you knew there was plenty of power.
He's the only active member of the Indians roster to have homered previously in this ballpark, as he swings and misses to end the inning. 2 walks, no runs. Cubs are coming up. Nothing better than the Stanley Cup here at the ballpark tonight. We'll donate $100 to Make-A-Wish, Illinois. Cubs Southwest starting lineup now. Fowler, Rizzo, and Bryant at the top. Montero, Castro, Coghlan in the middle. Coghlan scored the game-ending run on Sunday night versus Cincinnati. Chris Denorfia gets a start in right. Arrieta looking for his first hit of the season. And young Addison Russell batting ninth.
Cleveland defensively, Brantley, Bourne, Moss left center, right? Urshela, Lindor, Kipnis, Santana on the infield. Jan Gomes is the catcher on the mound. The Lexus starting pitcher for the Tribe tonight, 24-year-old right-hander Trevor Bauer.
Very interesting guy facing the Cubs for the first time in his major league career, although he did see the Cubs in spring training. More on that a little later. Making his 13th start.
He's got a diverse repertoire. 4-seam, 2-seam, fastball, cutter, curve, change.
He's got a dot slider, a circle slider, a reverse slider that's like a screwball. But mainly, if he's got one good breaking ball going, he'll stick with that. And it's now 3-1. He's a unique guy in a lot of ways, JD. His first pitch, as he gets set, is not even a pitch. He kind of just chucks it right at the catcher.
Short stroke, quick arm delivery. A little bit, as a college player, mimicked Tim Lincecum. There's a little crow hop and fire to home plate, part of his warm-up routine.
6'1", 200 pounds, 24 years of age. Born in North Hollywood, California, and was the 3rd overall pick in the 2011 draft, which we mentioned earlier. There's a ground ball, nice pick by Santana to get Fowler. So the deal with the Indians is that their pitchers strike a lot of people out, but their defense has not been particularly good. So I suppose balls in play would be a good thing against them this week.
Yeah, it's always a good suggestion. Although I think they have tightened it up with the changes they've made on the left side of the infield.
Anthony Rizzo in a bit of a slump, 0 for his last 16. The first time he's had 3 consecutive hitless games, but as he clubs one foul to right, he hit a couple of line shots on Sunday for outs.
Yeah, the whole key for a guy like Anthony is just to recognize you're still swinging the bat well. You hit it very hard here the other night. Don't panic.
One changeup is in there for a strike. With a curve that time, and he bounced it 2-2. So Bauer went number 3 overall in 2011 to the Diamondbacks out of UCLA. He was taken behind his teammate Garrett Cole, who went number 1. Danny Hultzen went to Seattle with the number 2 pick. In fact, the top 4 picks in that draft were all pitchers. Dylan Bundy went number 4 to the Baltimore Orioles. And ball 4. Rizzo takes the walk. That's always a good sign for a guy in a slump that he's not overly anxious.
Yeah, that's what I meant by don't panic. Don't start pressing, start jumping at the ball. Just trust that approach that he's had and been so consistent with all year long.
Now Chris Bryant working on an 11-game hitting streak. First Cubs rookie since Bill Madlock. Have a couple of 10-game hitting streaks in the same season. And they'd have to be in the same season if you're a rookie, for the most part. I suppose you could have a very small sample size.
The year before, maintained the rookie status, yes.
1974. Madlock had a couple double-digit hit streaks, that according to stats. Oh, 0-2. Changeup.
Yep.
Well, Bryant has gone 0-2 to 3-2 16 times already this season. Let's see what happens this time. The guy on deck, Miguel Montero, he caught Bauer in Arizona before Bauer was traded to the Indians. So he knows him pretty well. He faced him last year and said he was nasty. Still 2 strikes. Did you know that when Cole and Bauer were taken 1 and 3 in the 11 draft, it was the first time since 1978? 2 guys from the same college went in the top 3 picks.
Arizona State.
Yep. Remember the guys?
That wasn't Bob Horner's year, was it?
Yes, it was. Bob Horner and Hubie Brooks.
Hubie Brooks
went 1 and 3 for the same team.
Great. Yeah. Did UCLA win a national championship with these guys?
Don't believe they did.
That rotation?
No, I don't think they did. Bryant chased one way out in front of home plate, and now Rizzo caught between first and second, and he'll be tagged out by Lindor, and that will end the inning. So after 1, we are scoreless from Wrigley Field.
The Cubs square off with Cleveland, enjoy Coors Light, and win prizes next Thursday at 6. Well, it's this Thursday at 6. Great beer equals great responsibility. Yes, I said responsibility.
Nice crowd tonight as the Cubs wrap up a shortened homestand due to the rain out last night. Something I hate as a small child, yes. Thank you. Here's Yan Gomes, a catcher. 0-0, second inning. And a strike called on the inside corner.
Patient approach by the Tribe in the first. Worked a couple of walks, but Arrieta got a strikeout of Moss to finish the inning. Would like to be efficient here in the second. Get back on track with that pitch count.
Gomes missed 37 games from mid-April to late May with a sprained MCL in his right knee. One will get out of play off to the right. Called strike 3, got him. That hard slider possibly at 92. Let's see.
Yep. Power slide ball. Montero's setting up off the outside corners. The pitch never got there. Kind of backed up a little bit on Arrieta.
Veteran Michael Bourne, center fielder. 295 stolen bases since 2008, tied for the major league lead, but only 5 to date this season. The August 24th game against the Indians, by the way,
yes.
1:05 p.m. here from Wrigley.
You know the pitching matchup?
I don't have it as of yet.
The Cubs will not see Corey Kluber.
Not
unless
this
there's
week.
a change.
No. Possibly August 24th, I suppose. Yeah, they'll miss last year's Cy Young Award winner, Sean Markham, tomorrow night in Cleveland, and then Danny Salazar on Thursday night.
Got some power arms in that rotation. Generate a lot of swings and misses.
Markham being the exception to the velocity rule.
Yeah, but he's got a very nice personality.
Yeah, nothing against him as a person. He just doesn't throw 98. Right?
Tribe have been scuffling a little bit here lately. They're 4 games below 500. They won 85 last year, 92 the year before.
Yeah, they've been very good under Terry Francona. Wild card berth 2 years ago. They finished 3rd last year.
Beat by Joe Madden's Rays in the wild card game in 2013. Oh my.
Late
That's an emergency
swing
back there
by Bourne as he realized that pitch was going to be in the strike zone. So that's 3 straight punch outs now for Jake Arrieta.
This time it's the backdoor slider.
We'll bring up the third baseman, Urshela. 7th game tonight, made his major league debut on June 9th. This season started late. Had some back issues. Swing a little late on that pitch, 1-1. These two teams matching up for the first time since 2009 here at Wrigley Field. 7-7 all time since 1997 when interleague play began. Castro ranging to his glove side. He's got time. He bounces the throw, but no problem for Anthony Rizzo at the other end. And that'll end the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the second. 0-0. Using the hashtag Cubs Talk, and make sure to follow us on Twitter at CSN Cubs. We send out happy belated birthday wishes to big Cub fan Cole DeVos, who turned 19 on June the 12th. It's a popular group right there on the patio and right.
They deserve to celebrate, don't they, man? That's a grind going through those hockey playoffs. Battered, bruised, emotionally drained. And I'm talking about myself just watching it.
Former battery mates here. Bauer to Montero. Swings at the first pitch. Shallow left. And it's Lindor to make the catch. Great to see former Cub great Glenn Beckert before the game tonight, cheering on his team. He had his Blackhawks cap on as well.
Billy Williams here tonight as well.
Yeah, we've got happy belated birthday wishes to send out to Billy. Number 77 for the Hall of Famer.
Starting with the game-winning hits each of the last two ball games, and it's been trending in the right direction for him recently. I think 280 in June. A very sluggish May.
All right, so game-ending RBI hit Saturday and Sunday, and then go back to Friday. You recall he hit the game-tying two-run homer off Johnny Cueto. Off the outside corner, it's 3-1 on him. Good month of April. May, not so much, but as JD mentioned, off to a better start here in June as he draws the walk. Second one issued by Bauer.
Bauer came into this ball game with 34 walks in 74 innings, a walk rate of 11%, which is a good bit higher than league average. But he also strikes out a lot.
Chris Coghlan 1-out double in the 11th Sunday night. Castro then knocked him in. 11 hits over his last 7 games, including 4 doubles and a homer. He lofts one out into shallow right center, and it'll be Bourne in front of Moss to make the catch. So 2 first pitch outs here this inning, and we'll bring up Chris Denorfia.
Weak pop-ups, and he does. He gets a lot of outs in the air, way more outs in the air than he does on the ground.
Now, Bauer has a unique way about him in terms of his prep and his conditioning. He loves long tossing. Played catch for a long time in right field before the start tonight. He loves to soak up information on mechanics and technology. Tries to gain every possible advantage he can. He has met with pitching experts, literally has traveled during the offseason all over the country. Does incredibly detailed video work of himself during his throwing sessions. He actually has cameras that are put in the hitter's perspective when he throws. So he'll record his motion from the vantage point of a right-handed batter and a left-handed batter to see how his pitches look. That's pretty detailed stuff.
He's very much the poster boy for a modern baseball player, isn't he, with all the technology?
Yep. He's got the chops, I guess. He was a mechanical engineering major at UCLA, so it's in his DNA.
Right, and those of us of a certain age, guys who played a generation or two before him, and even a lot of the current players, he's going to get a lot of pushback. But I think you have to be open-minded about it.
Well, I think the Indians were when they traded for him, as he strikes out Denorfia, and we'll get into that a little more as we move along. That's his first strikeout tonight. And we head off to the third. Marian Hossa. Wait a minute, he doesn't have Tave's cell number? What's up with that?
Enhanced bleachers have a new look and feel, additional amenities, and more group spaces. Tickets are on sale now. Visit Cubs.com/bleachers to buy tickets and learn more about the new available spaces and concessions.
Here's Bauer, the pitcher, 0 for 7 in his career with 4 strikeouts. Didn't do much at the plate in the minor leagues previously either. 2 for 32 in his minor league career. Pretty aggressive hack, though.
Yeah, that's the key. Don't try to think your way through it. Just see it and take a whack at it. Swing hard in case you hit it.
Got him on a curveball. Well, the launch of the Cubs Read Around the Bases summer reading program happened at Pablo Casal's School of Excellence. On Monday, Kyle Hendricks visited the second grade class, read to them, took some questions. And Anthony Rizzo earlier today visited the oncology floor and family life center at Lurie's Children's Hospital. Dropped off Cubs hats, teddy bears to the patients and their families, signed some autographs. And just kind of lifted their spirits today. It's a very important thing to Anthony.
Good work, boys.
Yep.
Well done.
With the rain out last night, Rizzo and Krista Northia went to Game 6, the clincher. 1-2 on Kipnis. He had a huge month of May. Was the American League Player of the Month at .429. He leads all major league hitters with a .392 batting average against right-handed pitchers.
He's in the top 10 of the American League in many categories. Patient hitter, take his walks.
And a brilliant all-star season 2 years ago. Numbers went way down last year and bothered by an oblique injury, but he's back big time. Held up 3-2. Saw an interview he did with the Tribune recently. Kind of hedged his bets on who he rooted for growing up. Now he's from Northbrook. Generally, you would think that's Cubs territory. He said, I went to White Sox games, went to some Cub games, but he mentioned Albert Pujols and said, I actually kind of like the Cardinals at certain times as a kid. That's not hedging your bets, Jason. Could have left that part out.
Yeah,
he just said he just loved the game. So.
You know, he's got this little move here at the start. Reminds me of Mickey Tettleton.
Yeah.
The deal Tettleton used to do.
I'm sure he's got a lot of family and friends in the ballpark tonight. Jake ready. Here it comes. And Montero will give it a look, but he will not have a play on it. Another 3-2, and he walked him. Sinker. So we have not had a hit in this ball game, but we have seen now 5 walks, 3 by Arrieta, 2 from Bauer. That's the other thing about the rainout last night is that the Cubs bullpen, which we highlighted in the open, it had been really busy to the point where they brought Brian Schlitter up. And Joe was working with a 9-man pen. Schlitter got the win Sunday. He was sent out today. Accommodated Kyle Schwarber. Just to give everybody a day of rest was
it was huge. Well, you know, he had a couple short starts. We didn't get a whole lot from the starters. Extra inning games. Back-to-back days here, the Cubs covered 11 innings out of the bullpen.
And then Saturday night,
and then a
Kyle
long
Hendricks, 5
delay.
innings, 57 pitches, and then a nearly 3-hour rain delay. So that was just kind of bad luck. That forced the Cubs to go to their bullpen. It's a strike on Lindor. This has 8 steals, but he's been caught 5 times. 0-2. Or 0-3. Sorry, that was a strikeout. I thought it was 0-1. My bad. 2 outs, both strikeouts here in the inning for Arrieta.
Yeah, 5 strikeouts now for Jake here. You know, in the walks, he's made competitive pitches. He's made tough pitches, just good patient approaches. Santana laid off a 3-2 breaking ball that many would chase. Kipnis laid off a sinker at 96. That was on the plate, but down below the knees.
Ball 1 to Brantley. He walked his first time.
Most of these Indians hitters have not seen a whole lot of Arrieta, so you would think advantage Jake, and that they don't have much of a book on him, at least not firsthand. They've looked at plenty of video. They have scouting reports. They faced a guy, had a couple at bats against the wall. What a jump.
Kipnis will not even have to deal with a throw.
Yeah. Anticipated first move. Look how aggressive that secondary lead was, and the jump gave Montero no chance at all. But so you think, you know, advantage pitcher, but it can be tough for a pitcher too, because if you don't know the hitter's tendencies, you know, who's going to chase that 3-2 breaking ball?
I would say this lineup, based on the numbers, by and large, is a lineup that won't.
Yeah. Profile as a team that's going to force you into the strike zone. That 2-0 cutter, pretty good looking pitch. Didn't get the call from Phil Cuzzy.
Brantley is 4 out of 7 against Arrieta, but again, it's been a while since they faced one another. There's ball 4. Already a season high in walks for Arrieta.
Yeah, this is the kind of game, if you tuned in right now and you heard 4 walks in the 3rd inning, you say, well, Arrieta's wild tonight. I don't think that's the case. Maybe a couple of occasions where he could have been a little more aggressive.
Ball 1 on Santana.
But yeah, so here's the guy, right? Here's the guy that's probably the poster child for the conversation we're having. He hasn't hit for average, leads the American League in walks. He took that 3-2 curveball last time. So all that's got Chris Bosio moseying on out to the mound to have a chat with Arrieta.
Every game this afternoon and tonight around baseball is of the interleague variety. It's one of those weeks on the schedule. The Cardinals a 3-2 winner over the Twins in St. Louis today for their 43rd win. I guess overshadowed by the bombshell New York Times report that the Cardinals organization is being investigated by the FBI for alleged hacking into
database, the
Astros database. Jeff Luhnow, the general manager of the Astros, at one time worked for the Cardinals. I don't even know what to say about the story other than what? That one hit a ton deep to right. Denorfia back on the track. It's gone. It's a 3-run homer for Carlos Santana. And the Indians take advantage of the walks here in the 3rd inning.
Just the fourth ball put in play by the Indians here tonight. It's been strikeouts and walks. One big swing of the bat after a couple of walks, and the Indians have a 3-run lead. That's the 8th of the year for Santana. 8th allowed by Arrieta.
Well, we said it the other day, or I did. 3-run homers are good. They're good when you hit them. They're not good when you give them up.
No, and if Boz could have a mulligan, he'd probably take it.
Brandon Moss the other way, sending Coughlin to the edge of the warning track, and he's got it. And that will end the inning. One hit in this ball game, but it was a big one. A 3-run shot by Santana.
The Stanley Cup headed out of Wrigley Field. We welcome you back here. The Cubs trailing 3-0 here in the bottom of the third. One guy who was really excited to see it, though, David Ross, who didn't get a chance in 2013 when he was with the Red Sox and they won the championship. The Bruins, of course, came in second to the Blackhawks, so it never made it around. But he was saying one of the things he was really looking forward to tonight, guys, was getting a chance to just pick the brains of some of the Blackhawks players. He goes, it's interesting to find out what different guys think winning is and how you become winners, how you do it consistently, because that is not something that happens all around. We've seen, the third time in 6 years a Stanley Cup, and he says, that's a dynasty, and you just don't get there in one way. So he was curious, how does it happen? Is it hard work? Is it talent? Is it a mindset? And so David Ross always asking the questions, but I'm sure he enjoyed this evening.
Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, I think the whole team did, for sure. And this whole ballpark, this whole city is rallied around the Blackhawks, and wherever the cup goes, Madison Russell takes a strike. This is Party Central. You mentioned it earlier.
It's personified.
Yeah.
The cup becomes like a person. The cup is here.
I thought the cup was going to throw out the first pitch, not Jonathan Taves.
Yeah, Cup, can we get a few quotes?
But it's hard not to dream if you're a Cub fan watching everybody party right outside Wrigley Field last night.
Yeah, and the Cub players too, to witness what happens in the city with the championship like that. And not that you need any extra motivation, but the sense of excitement you get just contemplating a Cubs championship here.
Yeah, I asked Joe Madden, if he allowed himself to dream at all after watching the celebration. He said, I can't in my position. I'm trying to think little, micro today. But he said, of course, it creeps into your mindset a little bit. How cool would it be if? Bounce towards center and through for a base hit. Addison Russell has the Cubs' first hit. So the Cup did not throw out the first pitch, but he or she or it was on the mound with the captain, Jonathan Taves, our Xfinity high-speed action.
Yeah, this is a great moment as the Hawks invite the Cubs out for a big group photo out there on the mound.
Big group huddle as well. Good stuff. Russell aboard. Here's Fowler. And ball one. So back to Bauer for a second. You know, when he came up with Arizona, there were reports that that organization had some issues with his stubbornness in terms of how he likes to do what he does. And I asked Miguel Montero, who actually had been quoted either before or after Bauer got traded, that he didn't want to listen. And I asked Miggy about it yesterday. He said, a lot of it's just immaturity. He said he's a good kid. I said, my thing as a catcher was do what you got to do. Just make sure you tell me as the catcher what you want to do. So, I can see how, as you said, he might butt heads with some people, but the bottom line is if he has success and does it his way, I think most pitching coaches, most managers, most GMs would say, go ahead.
Yeah. And maybe you can even learn something, along the way. So, it worked for this kid. Maybe we should try it with some of our other guys.
And the Indians have done that. They have incorporated some of his philosophies about pitching into their programs as well. The 3-1 to Fowler, misses, ball four.
With a lot of baseball people and a lot of veteran players, coaches, managers, people who've been around the game a long time, there's this almost institutional pushback against top flight prospects, young kids that get to the big leagues at a young age who are strong-willed. There's this, wait a minute, kid, you don't have it figured out. You've got to pay your dues. You've got to do it the way we've done it. And that can be kind of treacherous for a young player to try to impose his will. Here's what I've done to get to this point. I have confidence in myself and my own approach. But at the same time, you have to listen a little bit. You have to be willing to listen. And that's maybe where some of the problems came in, where he wasn't willing to listen. But again, he probably ran into a bit of a wall of, no, what you did was fine in college, but now we're your professional ball son, and here's how we do it here. This ball's, for the most part, pretty slow to adapt.
One and 0 on Rizzo, tying run at the plate.
And it's interesting that, you think about the shifting in the game, right? It's, I don't know, last 5 years. You think about all the years that Major League Baseball was played, and they were keeping spray charts and tracking balls in play and where they were hit. And the fact that baseball didn't shift, except for the most extreme cases.
One and one on Rizzo.
That's why I like Joe Madden so much. He's always asking why or why not. And something new is proposed.
Yep.
Instead of no, it's like, well, let's think about it.
Popped him up. Infield fly rule in effect as Lindor makes a catch. We just had a shot of Dorothy, our friend who sits right behind the visitors' dugout. Looked like she got it at the very least grazed, if not more so, by that foul ball. But she said, I'm fine.
Mandelbaum.
She's a tough cookie. Here is Bryant with 2 on and 2 out. Well, Kyle Hendricks is somewhat similar. I mean, he would not put him in Bauer's category in terms of the extensive amount of work he's done on his own. Joe said in spring training, being around Kyle Hendricks, that by and large I'm leaving him alone. What he does works for him really well. Two and 0.
Yeah, and I think that's an important trait for any major league manager or coach, to have the flexibility to allow a player to work within his own little realm. There's a lot of coaches who had a lot of success as players. It's like, well, here's how I did it, ergo you should do it that way.
These guys have faced before, but it was in spring training, and Bryant got an opposite field home run. It was the third of back-to-back homers against Bauer and Goodyear. 2-1. Guessing Bauer's treating this at bat a little differently than he did back in March, as most starting pitchers do.
Intensity levels a wee bit higher.
On the ground, nice stop by Kipnis. At least for the time being, he saved the run. No doubt Russell would have scored had that ball gotten through to the outfield. It'll be an infield hit for Bryant. He's got a 12-game hitting streak, his second of the season. And the inning is still alive for the aforementioned Montero.
So Kipnis is awfully close to second base, so he drifts over to shortstop side. Lindor dives for it. He can't get it. Kipnis in behind to provide support. Saves the run. So this is fun. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and Montero in there, who's been swinging it well lately. Jumped on a first pitch. First time up and popped up to short.
So 3 on, 2 down. Cubs trailing this one 3-0. Here we go.
Change up. Screwed him into the ground. Montero sitting on a heater there. Saw fastball way out in front of that off-speed pitch from Bauer. Maybe he's homered in 3 of his last 5 ball games.
AT&T Uverse multi-view. 2 singles and a walk here in the third. Another one. 0-2. Well, he's really got to go to work. Back-to-back changeups to start the sequence. Elevates the fastball at 95. Bauer's got really good stuff. He had better numbers that Garrett Cole did at UCLA, but Cole deemed to have better stuff, so that's why he went 1 and Bauer went 3 in that draft. And if you're handicapping the National League Cy Young race right now, the leader has to be Garrett Cole. After a fantastic start.
Back to the changeup, and Montero this time able to get a piece. Yeah, Cole, what, 10-game winner with a
173 or something?
170, yeah. The whole pitching staff over there in Pittsburgh has really been lighting it up lately. A.J. Burnett having an all-star year. Liriano.
Yeah, those 2 guys lead the league. Cole 171, Burnett 189.
Mariano was really good yesterday. Charlie Morton's been pitching well.
Working on another shutout tonight.
Staying alive. Boy, this is tough too. You get fooled by the changeup. You have to respect that. It's tough to even get a piece of that 95-mile-an-hour heater, but Montero able to hang in there.
Tonight it is Morton. And the Pirates lead the White Sox 3-0 in the 7th inning. They've got a 5-game winning streak, 4 by shutout. 2-2, and he's run it full. How about 0-2 to 3-2 with the bases loaded.
Montero goes up there with a plan, doesn't he? And he's looking to do damage early. Took a couple big swings at the changeup, didn't get him. Got fooled. Hung in there, worked his way back to full.
Crowd getting into it. Runners go in on the hands, and we'll try it again.
Fairly predictable there, fouling off that fastball. You just can't sell out 3-2 on the heater, I don't think, if you're Montero. Not with the good changeups you've seen from Bauer. Orange wants to talk it over with his catcher.
Wind softly blowing in tonight.
Moving with the
pitch.
pitch.
Clear.
3-2 double should clear the bases here.
And the 3-2 again. Swing and a miss. He got him on a fastball to end the inning. The Cubs strand them loaded. And it's 3-zip Cleveland after 3. Brought to you by Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. Visit Jeff at jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side. Joyce and Dale Glenn on Sunday celebrated their 56th wedding anniversary. They watch every game from their home in Florida. They're watching tonight. Congratulations. Yan Gomes hits a liner right at Addison Russell for the out. First pitch outs are good for Jake Arrieta with the high pitch count here early. Dale Glenn was head basketball coach at Joliet High School. Joyce was a nurse at Silver Cross Hospital in Joliet. Now in Florida. Been together for 56.
Congratulations.
We used to see Michael Bourne a lot with Houston and Atlanta.
Speed guy with occasional power, but best when he stays on top of the ball, hits it on the ground or on a line.
Started with the Phillies in 06.
Played as a kid, played with Carl Crawford in the Houston area. That's a pretty good 1-2 punch in your lineup.
Yeah. He's 32 years old now. Third year with the Indians. With a 4-year, $48 million contract through 2016. Strike 3 called. He's out. Number 6 for Arrieta.
Second time Bourne has struck out swinging last time. This time got caught looking at that backdoor slider. So 56-year marriage, that's like a DiMaggio. It's the DiMaggio of weddings right there.
There you go. Maybe you get a golden bat as your gift. 2 strikes on Urshela. The pitcher Bauer's on deck, so ideally Arrieta can get Urshela and face the pitcher to lead off the next inning. And he held.
Urshela's from Colombia, am I correct? Did I read that somewhere?
He is. Yep. Edgar Renteria, Orlando and Hobert Cabrera, Ernesto Frieri, all from Colombia. Leo Tehran, Jose Quintana, Solano brothers, Donovan, Jonathan. He's only 23, signed back in 08. Pitch looked like it was going to hit him, and he swung at it and bounced it into the Cubs dugout.
Just a high fastball early, just barely able to check his swing on that hard slider, but with each pitch it looks been a little bit more competitive in the at bat here. That's a big leg kick.
And a high chopper. Castro Fields throws to Rizzo, and he's out. Second 1-2-3 inning for Jake Arrieta among his first 4. He trails this one 3-0.
transportation. If you ride your bike, the Cubs offer a courtesy bike check. And if you drive your car, the Cubs provide free parking and shuttle service on night and weekend games. That's from 3900 North Rockwell. For details, visit Cubs.com.
I stepped out to grab coffee. What in the wide world of sports is it going on?
Well, let's go back. Michael Bourn got rung up on that backdoor slider. It appeared to be off the outside corner. Phil Cuzzy punched him out. Second strikeout tonight for Bourn. Clearly frustrated. But Cohen took his medicine, went back, and then came out after the final out was recorded and wanted to have a word with Phil Cuzzy before taking his position and never got the chance. Conversation escalated. And boom.
Cuzzy's reaction. Yeah. Right. So that's it for Bourne. David Murphy will play left. That'll move Brantley to center. And one strike on Starlin Castro.
Michael Bourne's a very likable fellow. I can't imagine that he's been tossed very much in his career.
Pitch is high.
Heat of the battle.
Two and one, the count. 3-run homer, Carlos Santana in the third inning, supplying all the runs to this point. In fact, that's their only hit off Jake Arrieta. 2-2. Someone on Twitter,
yes,
sent us a tweet, said Trevor Bauer reminds me of Roy Oswalt. You see a little of that in his
the explosive nature of his delivery. Boom, right there, that move. He and Bauer, I was reading a story on him where he, as a younger guy, he mimicked Tim Lincecum. I see a little bit of Lincecum, not a lot. The stride length, the rocking of the shoulders.
Called strike three. He got him on a fastball.
Yeah, I agree. There is some Oswalt in there. Oh, he starts his windup. Bauer, while at UCLA, racked up 460 strikeouts, second only to Lincecum in the Pac-12 all time.
Yeah, as a sophomore, he led Division I with a UCLA record 165, and then shattered that mark the following year, 203. Broke the single season Pac-10 record set by Mark Pryor in 2001. How about this? He strung together 9 consecutive complete games to finish that junior season. Won the Golden Spikes Award for his efforts. I'm guessing he threw a fair amount of pitches. Complete 9 straight games.
Yeah. It's probably why he fell all the way to number 3 in the draft.
1-2. Coughlin sends one into the right field corner. Long run over there, Brandon Moss. And he caught it right in that corner as Coughlin was bidding for at least 2 bases.
The race was on between Moss and the ball, and Moss able to track it down. Ball had some backspin. It's kind of floated there for a while. And Moss able to run under it.
Nice running grab by Moss, and it'll bring up Denorfia. Struck out swinging in the second. Nice shot, base hit. Get Arrieta to the dish with 2 outs. Hey, did you notice on the front page of the Cleveland game notes, they've got a little box that says Cleveland Rocks? They do this day in music with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in downtown Cleveland. I think that's a nice touch. 1962 on this date, the Conrads, along with band member Dave J., made their live debut at Bromley Technical School in Kent, England. You may say, who cares? Well, Dave J. later became known as David Bowie.
How about that?
Bob Dylan on this date, 1965, recorded Like a Rolling Stone in New York. And in 1980, the Blues Brothers film premiered here in Chicago.
Rock on.
Arrieta pops it up.
Bones can't find it.
I have no idea where it was. It ends up landing about 12 rows back behind the plate.
One of the other things that makes this ballpark so cozy for the hitters. Not a lot of foul territory. Most of those balls are going to drift out of play. Keep the at-bat alive.
Curveball and didn't curve a whole lot. Jay can swing the bat a little bit, but he's 0 for 26 so far this season with 17 strikeouts. Called strike 3 to end the inning. Bauer shutting out the Cubs through 4, 3-0 Indians. To enjoy a game here at beautiful Wrigley Field. The Cubs are back home next Monday, June 22nd, for a short 4-game homestand with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Tickets are still available, so visit Cubs.com today.
They've been promising that arrival of summer for a while now. It shows up and then it kind of sneaks off for a few days. Dodgers currently in first place out west, 3.5 games better than San Francisco.
Bauer leading off for the Indians.
And you were saying earlier today, it looks like Kershaw Greinke, first 2 games of the Dodgers.
We believe that will be the case.
Yep.
Giants a winner today, 6-2 over Seattle. That snapped the Giants' 9-game home losing streak. That had been their longest home losing streak since 1940 when they were the New York Giants. 3-0 on the pitcher, Bauer.
Uh-oh. Time to get those pink elephants out of your head, Jake.
Three and two. You want to play a little more Trevor Bauer trivia?
Sure.
What does Trevor Bauer have in common with Bob Walk?
Trevor Bauer and Bob Walk. Wow. I do not know.
They attended the same high school.
Oh.
William S. Hart High School in Newhall, California. Kevin Millar, Todd Zeal, James Shields, Chris Valleca, and the guy who played Zach on Saved by the Bell all went there. Joe Kapp. Quarterback went there as Bauer singles.
There you go.
A leadoff hit. Congratulated by Sandy Alomar Jr. over at first base. So he's got his first major league hit, 1 for 9. Now in the big leagues, forcing a little smile as Kipnis will come up.
Well, Arrieta fell behind him 3-0, just started pumping fastballs over the heart of the plate, and Bauer caught up to one.
Pitch number 90 on the day. Back to Arrieta. Whoop. Not a great throw to Castro, and he can't get anything on the throw to first. So in his haste, Arrieta's throw was to the wrong side of the base, so they do get one.
Yeah, so no error charge, but should have been an easy double play. Jake is just in too much of a hurry. And this ball back to him in no time, so he's got plenty of time. Pro hop, nice easy throw to second base, working off the side of the mound, maybe threw him off a little bit. Ideally, you'd like to clear the mound.
Boy, a nice play here. Watch Castro. I don't know if he got the bag, but there he did.
Yeah.
He made sure he got his foot on the base before he made that throw.
Yeah, heck of a play just to reach back and catch it, and then going back to tap it again.
Kipnis takes off. He's going to steal his second base of the night. He's got 10 on the year now.
He got another good jump this time. Maybe not as big a jump as he had back in the third inning. It never made him stop.
Lindor takes the pitch high. 2 balls, no strikes. MLB.com as Byron Buxton is the #1 overall prospect in the game. Carlos Correa #2. That ball again to center. Kipnis around third. Lindor has his first major league RBI, and it's 4-0 Cleveland. Lindor, according to MLB.com, the 3rd best prospect in baseball. The top 3 all recently coming to the big leagues.
Inability to get the double play, followed by the Kipnis steal of second, provides the opportunity for Lindor, and he cashes it in.
Brantley started the game and left. He's now in center after the ejection of Michael Bourne. 2 walks and a run for Brantley. Boston beat Atlanta today at Fenway 9-4. That ended the Red Sox 7-game losing streak. Brock Holt hit for the cycle. Strike called on Brantley. So going into this inning, at least one punch out in 14 consecutive innings.
When you look at Arrieta statistically comparing him to his Baltimore days, that's the one thing that really jumps out to you, that gap between his strikeout rate and his walk rate. He's always had plus stuff, so he'd strike people out. He's doing it at a much higher rate now since he's put on the Cub uniform, and he's cut way down on the walk rate. So tonight was a bit of an oddity. Even 4 free passes.
Lifted into shallow left. Coghlan racing after it. He dives. He caught it. What a catch by Coghlan. Throw back to first. Not in time. Chris Coghlan able to keep that ball in his glove as he landed on the grass. It nearly turned a double play out of it.
Wow, what a beautiful play. A long run for Coghlan. Leaves his feet. Secures the baseball. Just barely, but he got it.
So 2 down, and here's Santana. Checking at second to see if possibly Lindor had passed second without retouching, but the appeal did not work. Hey, by the way, since you had last worked, Padres have gone through 2 more managers.
2 more?
Yeah, Bud Black got fired.
Yep.
Dave Roberts managed 1 game, and now it's Pat Murphy.
Oh, they did hire Murphy.
They hired Pat Murphy, and they lost in his debut 6-5 to the A's. Murphy was their AAA manager and former
longtime college coach. Notre Dame and then ASU. Well, when we were out there was talk. Well, remember, Craig Counsell wanted to hire Pat Murphy, put him on his staff in Milwaukee, and San Diego would not give him permission to talk to the Brewers. So we thought, well, maybe you know, they've made promises to Murphy that he's going to be on the big league staff in some capacity.
Yeah, the expectations were sky high in San Diego when the season started. Right now they're 3 games under 500. Santana played all over defensively in the Dodger chain early in his minor league career. Played third, the outfield, even second base. Came to the big leagues as a catcher with Cleveland. And Lindor takes off for second. And he's in.
Indians have really not done a lot of running this year. 32 stolen bases coming into play here tonight, but they've been aggressive. Kept this with a couple. Now Lindor.
Getting a lot of his firsts out of the way this week. So far this year, Santana has not caught. 55 starts at first, 1 at the DH spot. Arrieta's ready for a 2-2. I guess it was a 2-1. Scoreboard has him striking out. I have no idea what the count is.
I'm gonna have to buy an indicator.
Maybe it's 3-2.
Ooh, that's on the plate.
That is ball 4.
That was a good pitch.
Arrieta not happy at
Montero.
all.
Getting after Phil Cuzzy a little bit too. Now he didn't, Montero had moved to the outside corner a little bit there, but it looked like that pitch was on the plate. Good pitch.
Oh, yeah. Just because Montero reached over doesn't mean it was off the plate. You're absolutely right. Now Moss, ball 1. Here it comes. Bounce to first. It's foul. Well, big start tomorrow night for left-hander Tsuyoshi Wada. His manager pretty public about the fact that he wants him to be more aggressive. And I wouldn't say his days are necessarily numbered in the Cubs rotation. Joe has not made any indication that he's looking to make a change in that 5th spot, but it would certainly behoove Tsuyoshi to be better than he was his last couple of times out.
They got off to a great start. The first 2 or 3 starts really threw the ball well. Last couple, not so much.
Two and 1. Edwin Jackson is starting to crank it up in the Cubs bullpen. So 3 and 2. He's had a lot of these deep counts tonight. This will be 3-2 on the way and fouled.
Moss much more likely to chase than Santana and Brantley. When you look at the profile of the middle of the order here for the Indians.
And he has tied that career high with his 6th walk, and they are loaded up.
And a lot of pitches, 110 pitches here in the 5th. You got to believe this is Arrieta's last hitter, regardless of the outcome.
There are 2 position players currently pitching in blowouts. Jake Elmore and Jeff Brancourt. Trying to get to the bottom of it.
Frenchy, you probably lighting up the radar gun.
Let's see. Washington beating Tampa Bay 14-1. And it is Jake Elmore, an infielder on the mound right now for the Rays. Phillies losing at Baltimore. I should say trailing. They haven't lost yet. 17-3 in the bottom of the 7th. Jeff Francoeur currently pitching. He struck out Nolan Ramo. Castro makes the catch. They strand 3, but they add a run to their lead. It's now 4-0 Cleveland.
Field. It's the Jekyll and Hyde Tour. Tickets are on sale now at Cubs.com/Zach Brown Band. Don't miss your chance to see the 3-time Grammy-winning Zach Brown Band here at Wrigley Field. Again, tickets yours at Cubs.com/Zach Brown Band.
Ball 1 on Addison Russell. He's 1 for 1 tonight. Cubs are down 4-0 to Trevor Bauer. Swing and a miss. It's 1-1.
41 men have come to bat so far in this game. 21 of the 41 have put the ball in play.
About half.
Yeah. I don't know what normal is, but I'm guessing it's a lot higher than that.
Well, we just add up strikeout and walk rates.
Yeah.
28-29%.
So 72%.
By pitch or two, probably about 30. Yeah, I'd say 70% should be put in play. That one put into play, and it'll drop for a hit. Russell's 2 for 2. Little excuse me single.
It speaks to the strength in his forearms and wrists. And he just half swings at that one, still hits it on a line. Flip of the barrel. This is pretty solid contact for Russell. So that's the first leadoff man to reach for the Cubs tonight. Let them get a little something going.
So we understand Jeff Francoeur just pitched the first 1-2-3 inning for the Phillies tonight. That can't go over too well in the bullpen. And the Pirates shut out the White Sox. This is getting Ridiculous. 6 straight wins for the Pirates. 5 have been shutouts.
Has to be frustrating for them to be playing as well as they are and really not gaining any ground on St. Louis.
The White Sox have now lost 5 in a row. It swept over the weekend at Tampa Bay. They have not scored. And Pittsburgh is Fowler. Skies one to left. Murphy makes the catch. Russell back to first.
In that Philly-Baltimore game, Jerome Williams started for Philadelphia. He allowed 6 earned runs in 2/3 of an inning. Dustin McGowan relieved him 3 1/3, allowed 7 runs, 6 earned. They both have ERAs up over 6.
So it looks like it's going to be Edwin Jackson in the 6th. Jake Arrieta's last 2 starts here at Wrigley, 8 earned runs in 12 innings. That was against the grain of what he normally does here. He has just been lights out at Wrigley Field since becoming a Cub. But not tonight.
Yeah, it was a weird night for him. You know, the strikeout pitch was there. His stuff was good. It's a really good, patient approach by these Indian hitters, and one big swing of the bat by Santana. 3-run blast in the 3rd. Real difference maker in this ball game.
Brantley in center makes the catch. Let's go back to spring training. Very rarely will we show you spring training video on June 16th, but this is worth it. March 10th, Jorge Soler off Trevor Bauer. Next batter, Javier Baez, gone. Next batter, Chris Bryant to the opposite field. The next morning, members of the Goodyear Police Department showed up at Indians camp, and one of the officers announced that at roughly 2:20 p.m., 2:21 p.m., and 2:22 p.m., 3 baseballs fell and disrupted traffic, and they were delivered to Trevor Bauer. He had a good sense of humor about it.
I believe that was his manager that
yeah,
was behind that little scheme.
Yeah, Tito very comfortable in his own skin. He's been doing this for a long time. If you can't laugh about back-to-back-to-back homers allowed in spring training, you probably do need to lighten up. Unless it knocks you off the roster, that's not funny. Yeah.
Hey, here's this really funny joke. Oh, by the way, you're going to minor league camp.
Off of first, Santana over near the tarp, and he will not have a play.
Well, and that's reminiscent of the deal that used to take place here for years and years and years. The rookie hazing ritual. When you would come to Chicago, rookies were asked, encouraged, coerced to go out and do a little artwork on some public sculptuary here in town, and then invariably the day or two later, the local gendarmes would show up in the visiting clubhouse, start arresting people, and guys would go to a full-blown panic until the rest of the clubhouse started laughing.
There was a lot of finger pointing during those moments.
Wasn't me. It was him.
Sell out your teammate.
Yeah. I just held the ladder. They don't do that anymore.
No, that sort of thing is discouraged. 3-1 on Bryant. In the air. JD mentioned Bauer gets a lot of his outs this way, and all 3 of them in the inning. Flyouts, 7, 8, and 9, in fact. Fowler, Rizzo, Bryant. Still 4-zip Cleveland. Best matchups in baseball. Reserve your place in line for history in the making. Join the season ticket holder waiting list. It's easy and free to register. For details, visit Cubs.com/waitlist. New pitcher for the Cubs is Edwin Jackson out of the bullpen, or Jake Arrieta.
Edwin's been throwing the ball well lately. For the season, he's appeared in 16 ball games. Picked up a couple of wins along the way against a loss and a .270 earned run average.
David Murphy with his first plate appearance. He's only in there because Michael Bourne got the thumb back in the 4th inning.
Murphy stepped the other way in the outfield.
To foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Second year with the Indians for Murphy. Red Sox, Rangers, and now the Indians.
Cubs hoping to take advantage of getting the Indians in their home ballpark, because the Indians have been better on the road than they have at home. They're 17-15 as a road club, just 12-18 in their own ballpark.
Yeah, they've only won 1 home series at Progressive Field.
I don't know the why of it, but their pitching has been a lot better on the road.
Good numbers. Look at that. Murphy, 4 hits, 5 walks, and a home run against Jackson. Spoiler there, 1 and 2 are holding in the count.
Two-thirds of an inning for Edwin on Sunday, and the Cubs 2-1 win over Cincinnati. Allowed a walk and a strikeout. Previous outing was that game in Detroit. He came in behind John Lester and really saved some bullets for the rest of the bullpen. Worked 3 2/3 innings on that occasion.
Well, it's back to the mound. Jackson will run it halfway and then underhand to Rizzo.
I wasn't sure exactly what he wanted to do there. Throw it overhand, underhand, run it over the whole way. It's good to have options.
Happy 16th birthday to Natalie Thiel.
Happy 38th birthday to Kerry Wood.
That sounds really young. Rizzo in foul territory makes the catch.
It is really. I was talking to Miguel Montero today around the batting cage. He said, "Man," I said, "how you doing?" "I feel old." I go, "Really?" I said, "How old are you?" He said, 31. I said, "But I feel like I'm 40 today." He goes, "Some days I feel like I'm 22.
Split the difference, and there you go. Bauer with his first major league hit in his previous at bat.
But I think the the nature of the schedule, and especially the Cubs schedule, because of more day games, the day games and night games, the extra innings, the sitting out long rain delays, it takes its toll.
And the Cubs in 20-day stretch without an off day. Yesterday, technically, I guess, an off day because of the rain out, but the guys were here for several hours before they called it. 4-0 Cleveland.
adversity, all of a sudden become better because of that, where there's this bonding kind of a moment where guys actually lift their game up or play a little bit better than they have been playing just based on the fact that they know they're more needed. I like when we play without breaks. I like activity for this group. And if we could, if it gets too active, then give somebody a day off. But I'd rather just see us play. I think we'd be much better under those circumstances.
He embraces the grind. He loves the everyday nature of this business, and thinks it makes his club better too, because you do when you play every day and you play extra innings and you have long rain delays. You call on those guys out of the bullpen a little bit more. You rely on your bench a little bit more.
Well, the thing Joe does, it's genuine. He believes it, is he can take just about any circumstance that on the face would seem like it's a negative and make it into a positive. That's a rare skill.
That's a challenge for the players too, to take away every day you come to the ballpark, try to take away something positive. Even if you go out and get thumped, if you're a pitcher and you go out and get your brains beat in, at least learn a lesson from it. If you're a hitter and you go for 4 and you punch out 4 times, try to find something positive in that day. Maybe, well, how did I get ready? How did I prepare? Did I do my homework? Was I ready to go?
Separating the process from the results, not always easy. Both ways. There are times when you actually have good results, but you look back and you go, I probably got away with something.
Yeah, guys get a little giddy with success that they didn't really deserve.
Another position player tonight, Nick Franklin, replaced Jake Elmore for Tampa Bay. So just trying to cover some innings at the end of that blowout loss. So Tana to the bag unassisted. Francoeur in his second inning of work for the Phillies.
Well, Jeff Francoeur's been a bit of a survivor, hasn't he? It seems the last 5+ years it looked like he was toast, and he has managed to stick around.
He also made like 8 appearances on the mound for AAA in the Padres organization last year. So
yeah, he contemplated it, right? There was some talk about him trying to come back as a pitcher.
Well, he gets a chance to impress the scouts tonight. Castro went 1 ball, 1 strike. Ball, Lindor, it's short. So when has Bauer been in trouble tonight? I guess the 3rd inning, right? First and second, 1 out. That was probably the only time when he really was up against it. It was the only time the Cubs have had a man in scoring position tonight.
Yeah, Chris Bryant added an infield hit, so they had the bases loaded, 2 outs. Montero fell behind in the count, ultimately worked it back full, and then struck out on a fastball out of the zone. Since then, the Cubs have had a couple of base runners, but nobody in scoring position and no real sense of urgency for Bauer.
Moss in right, and that'll end the Cubs' 6th. Bauer in command this evening. 4 hits, no runs through 6.
15 to 55. Include food, all you can drink beverages, and parking. To book your premier experience at the ballpark, visit Cubs.com/suites.
The Hanson brothers.
Got a couple of linesmen here.
Top of the order against Jackson here in the 7th. Where's Dave Otto? Is he coming in? We're calling for the lefty. He's singing tonight. Well, the radio guys just chatted with him.
Yeah, he probably went in the press lounge. He got a cookie.
Made the call to the bullpen. He hasn't arrived. 2-0 on Kipnis. He has stolen 2 bases and scored twice without a hit. Reached on a walk in the 3rd and a fielder's choice in the 5th. That is at the knees. And it's 2-1.
We talked earlier about his off year last year dealing with an oblique issue. He couldn't handle pitches out away from him and had a difficult time with off speed pitches. That has not been an issue this year.
Hit hard on the ground and into right. This has been really good since moving to the leadoff spot. And he is on to start the 7th.
Well, it might be worth a couple of tosses over there to first base to kind of check him a little bit.
Lindor with his 2nd major league hit, his 1st RBI, and his 1st stolen base in the 5th.
It's a wacky night in baseball. Like some shutouts. These high scoring affairs are breaking out in a big way.
Strike on Lindor. It's in the dirt. Dave Otto is with us.
All right.
How you doing, man?
Guys,
Nice to see you as always.
good to see you guys. Fun year, huh?
It has been a really fun year.
Awesome.
And a fun night last night at the United Center. Did you go?
I did.
I heard the atmosphere. I mean, just watching on television, it was
Last row, Len
amazing.
and JD. Last row.
You're in the last row?
Last row.
Ah, you're in the house.
You were in the building,
Yes,
though.
yes, I was.
Up there with Euchre.
That's right. Euchre seats. Absolutely.
So the Blackhawks clinch for the first time at home since '38, although the Stanley Cup never made it to Chicago in '38. How long did you stay? Did you stay for the whole ceremony?
Absolutely.
Nobody left.
Tremendous. I moved up a row.
Good. Yeah, you seized your opportunity. You saw that chance.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's being opportunistic. I like that. I like the way you operate.
Oh, yeah. Boy, can you imagine? Dream about that?
Sure.
When it. Gee, yes.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier. This is Party Central up here in Wrigleyville when Chicago sports teams win. And yeah, you have to think about it after watching that celebration last night. Yep. And actually, from a baseball standpoint, the ball hit really hard by Lindor, but he lines out to D'Onofrio. Cub fans don't care who they play in the World Series, just get there. But actually, the Indians would be an interesting matchup because the last time they won it was '48. So a couple of long droughts, but yeah, there would be nothing comparable to the Cubs winning the World Series.
No. In this palace?
Yep. You know that guy?
Oh, yeah.
Terry Francona. You got to have a Tito story. You have a story about
well,
everybody.
you know, he used to just flare me in AAA. He was at Colorado Springs. Boy, make good pitches. Boy, he could hit a little bit. And he would just serve it over the shortstop side.
Tito was hitting, what, 340 something, I think, when he hurt his knee in mid-80s.
Montreal. Right?
Yeah. I mean, he got to the big leagues in a hurry. He's a tremendous college player. Got to U of A, got to the big leagues in a hurry. He got hurt fairly early in his career and was relegated mostly to kind of a part-time pinch hitter type guy. But if not for the injury, I'm not, who knows? Spent a little time here, too, in Chicago.
It's some nice years managing.
Yeah, he's worked that out pretty well.
I want to ask you about being from here and growing up as a baseball player and getting to the big leagues. Jason Kipnis went to Glenbrook North. Scott Sanderson, we could go down the list.
Yeah.
What are the challenges, or what were the challenges for you? I grew up in Michigan. JD grew up in upstate New York, taking ground balls in the gym. It's a much different deal here than it would be growing up in Florida or California or Texas.
It was pitching here. It brought the fun back to the game for me personally, because it felt like, wow, I grew up here. There were times where I'd stand on that mound and I'd look in for my sign and I'd look back, and then maybe if there's a run around second base. But I'd always, sometimes, if nobody on base, I'd just turn around and look at the scoreboard. It's like, wow, this is really cool. This is Wrigley.
I thought you were going to say you'd peer in for a sign and you see like your cousin behind home plate. Hi, Dave. You got the pizza tonight.
Yeah. But when it wasn't fun is when you give one up, not off the scoreboard, but close to give one up off the scoreboard.
Foul by Brantley.
They call a balk there, by the way, on Jackson. That's how Kipnis ended up at second base.
Steal, a balk. Brantley, a dangerous hitter, came in at 301 right now at an even 300. Fair ball into the right field corner, and they're going to add to their lead. That's a double for Michael Brantley.
Pretty solid contact off Edwin here. Two walks and this double for Brantley here tonight. Among the better players in the American League.
Boy, high sinkers.
Yeah, they don't work out, do they?
Dave Otto, worst ballpark, the Coliseum in Oakland or a mistake by the lake?
Mistake by the lake was.
Brantley's going to be out at third. 2 down. Continue. When you pitch at Wrigley, we're talking about the Taj Mahal, the Coliseum and Cleveland Muni.
Cleveland had held about 70,000, and there might be 3,200 in that stadium. And you could stand on the mound at old Cleveland Stadium, and you could hear the bullpen phones ring if you were. So you're struggling on the mound, and you're about to get taken out, and the manager is calling down to the bullpen. You can hear the phones ringing.
Not good, right? We didn't hear the conversation. Now we better get him out of there. We're going to get somebody killed behind him.
Oh, my.
But when you were there, you were starting the seeds of that mid-'90s to late '90s to early 2000s.
Absolutely.
Was being planted.
And it really was very similar to what's going on here with the Cubs. Good young ball players. And then when they're close, and then you sign a couple veteran guys to, just mold that team. Indians 95 and 97 World Series.
Tomey
and
Ramirez and Alomar.
Sandy over there, first base coach.
Baerga.
Yeah.
2-2 on Santana.
Young Manny Ramirez.
All right, Dave, you ready to sing?
Not really.
No choice at this point. Time for the stretch with Dave Otto.
Tonight's guest conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, former Cub Dave Olivano.
All right, Cub fans. Good loud. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jacks. I don't care if I ever get back. Let me root for them. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Let's get some runs.
Sports stories, trending topics, and much more with the Cap and Haw Show. CSN's David Kaplan teams with Chicago Tribune writer David Haw to deliver the best 1-2 punch in sports talk. Cap and Haw Show weekdays at 9 on Comcast Sportsnet. Bottom 7. Cubs trying to get something going against right-hander Trevor Bauer. One strike.
So efficient in the 6th. Terry Francona sent him back out for one more.
The Northia hard hit ground ball to Lindor.
Well, it looks pretty smooth out there at shortstop, doesn't it?
He does. Here comes Mike Baxter. Pinch hit for Jackson. Two innings for Edwin, 2 hits, 1 run. Change up in there for a strike. Should note, in Bauer's season debut, that was in Houston on April the 9th. He had to leave after 6 innings during a no-hitter. 111 pitches. They would have that no-no broken up in the 9th. He walked 5, struck out 11. So very few balls put in play in that particular start for Bauer. Tito could have tried to stretch him out, but it would have been about a 170 pitch.
Yeah, that wouldn't have worked out.
Would have ruined his
well
season,
yeah.
not his career. Baxter held up.
He did have a no-hitter of sorts because he started his next game with 3 no-hit innings.
Kind of counts. have no idea what that was, but I do know that Gomes showed all 5 fingers. So Bauer, as you said, he does everything but the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
Is that a variation of his changeup?
And maybe he's got like a wiggle. Yeah, that's a circle change of some sort.
You rarely need all 5 fingers for a pitcher. 1's the fastball, 2's your curve, 3 your slider, 4's your changeup.
Wiggle the change.
Yeah, that's usually all you need.
That's a good change up there, and and that's really all the catcher needs, because whether you're throwing a variation on a changeup, whether you throw a circle change and also some kind of a split, I don't think a catcher really needs to know, unless he just specifically wants one over the other.
Puts him on the breaking ball.
Goes on here, this kid.
He seems to be getting stronger as this game has moved along. That's 9 in a row he has retired. The Cup making the rounds here on the north side. 5-0 Cleveland. Wrigley Field, the Cubs offer 90-minute guided tours that include a chance to step on the field. This must-see Chicago attraction houses over 100 years of history. For more info, visit Cubs.com/tours. There's James Russell.
Got a couple of lefties due to hit here in the 8th. Also, the left-hander gets the call for the 21st time. 2.57 ERA, just 14 innings of work, but for the most part, solid work from Russell.
Moss busted his bat. Russell's got a cover. That's going to go. Is that?
That's Bryant.
Chris Bryant
out there.
5-1. Trying to figure out who the heck actually fielded that ball. A 5-1 ground out.
You see Bryant out there in that rover position. Rizzo leaves his feet, can't get it, but Bryant's there to back him up. That's a tougher play for the first baseman. And we talk so much about first baseman knowing where his second baseman is, deciding how far to go after a ball that's to his right. That adds another level to it when you have to remember, well, where's my third baseman? Right. He might be out there in short right. Because where Bryant was positioned and where Russell was, if you're Anthony, any sharply hit ball on the ground to your right, you could just say, well, somebody's got this covered. It's one thing to tell yourself that, but to be able to react instinctively and run to the bag as opposed to trying to make a play on that ball would be awfully tough.
2 strikes on Yan Gomes, born in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Went to high school in Miami and then Barry University, University of Tennessee as well, and he drills this one into left. So he's aboard, and that'll bring up Murphy. So Gomes began at Tennessee, finished at Barry. 10th overall, 10th round pick of the Blue Jays in 09. Stick around. It's 5-0 late, but could see the major league debut potentially of Kyle Schwarber. In a pinch hitting role.
We're expected to be in there tomorrow as the designated hitter as these teams head over to Cleveland.
You know what we'll say when we land, of course. Hello, Cleveland! Hello, Cleveland!
Are you going to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
I may.
Have you ever been?
I haven't. I've only been there a couple of times for baseball, so yeah, I'd love to stop by. I have some issues with some bands they put in recently and some who've been snubbed, but it wouldn't keep me from going.
You could wear a t-shirt or something protesting. That's a tough one. Like in baseball or in any sport, you can build a body of work just based on numbers and statistics. I don't know what the criteria is to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Is it album sales or?
Well, I think it's the band has to have been together for 25 consecutive years or something. Whatever.
Okay, so there's some longevity.
They had to have been together for a certain amount of time, and they're eligible. They were formed, whatever it is, 20-25 years later. Fowler makes the catch.
So there's no Sandy Koufax of bands. A band that was short-lived but really good for a short period of time. And
might be, but it would have to have been a long time ago. I don't know all the criteria, as Ilya would say.
Well, this guy has every vowel in his name. Did you notice that?
He's got them all covered?
Urshula. Got them all. He's a 5-vowel player.
Oh, first and last name. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, you're eligible 25 years after the release of your first album. Influence and significance of the artist's contributions to the development and perpetuation of rock and roll. Line center field. Diving knockdown by Fowler.
Indians apparently not content with this 5-run lead. Making a little noise here in the 8th. Nice play by Fowler to prevent that ball from getting by. Come hard, position yourself to make a heroic play. Once you realize you can't, do everything you can to keep the ball in front. That's exactly what he does there. Chapman will get the intentional walk.
Yeah, I'm not going to air my grievances with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in this particular forum, just because I can't win on this. If I say somebody who's in who shouldn't be,
yeah,
I offend somebody, and I don't.
Yeah, that's probably
think
a
it's
smart
necessary.
move, Len. That's probably a good idea.
Keep it to myself.
Just think if they kept musicians out of the Hall of Fame for using PEDs.
It would be
tough.
Part of me wonders if you have to take that test, and if you didn't get into that Hall of Fame. Bases loaded, so to speak. Kipnis has scored 3 times tonight. He has only 1 hit.
Yeah, having a nice night, though, playing in front of some family and friends, no doubt.
All right, I will tell you one who should be in.
Okay.
It's not very controversial. Well, 2. Cheap Trick and the replacements. And I'm hopeful both will get it.
Okay. I can neither defend nor dispute your opinion on that. Just defer to your expertise.
1-2 on Kipnis.
All I know is I'm not going to sleep until the Starland vocal band gets in.
Can you name 2 songs by that band? Nice pick. And that'll end the inning. It's 25 years to get there.
With in-game highlights, live look-ins, Replay reviews, radio broadcast, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet.
Well, we may see Kyle Schwarber down the catcher's gear because Miguel Montero got kicked out of the game.
Yeah, he kind of peeked up, and I saw a little bit of a heated exchange going on between Montero and Phil Cuzzi and Joe Madden, and I hadn't seen what you're looking at right now as Montero walked off the field at the end of the inning. A brief exchange with Cuzzi, and see you later. This is Zach McAllister, hard-throwing right-hander now pitching for Cleveland, mid-90s heater. So he's averaging better than a strikeout per inning.
Now, Trevor Bauer was terrific tonight. As Fowler turns on one, lines it out of play. 7 innings, 4 hits. And the Cubs really had one chance, and that was first and second, 1 out, bases loaded, 2 outs in the third, but he struck out Montero to end that threat.
AL Central is a very competitive division. Some feel like it's the best division in baseball. Cleveland currently in 4th place, 7 games out. Corey Kluber got off to a very bad start. But they're in rotation. Pretty good chance to hang in there. Got to believe they're going to start playing better baseball in their home ballpark.
The pitcher, but not by Lindor, who makes the play.
Lindor's shaded that way. There's a good whiff by McAllister. You know, the guy's standing right behind you. You might as well let it go.
Born in Peoria, Illinois, went to Illinois Valley Central High in Chillicothe. 3rd round pick of the Yanks in 06. 1-0 on Rizzo. So Anthony now at 0 for his last 18. Nice piece on Fangraphs.com today. I tweeted or retweeted it out earlier, so check it out if you can. Owen Watson wrote it. Quoting now from the article, Rizzo's 2015 is the equivalent of making a Ferrari go a little faster using less gas. His power with his low strikeout rate, not something you see very often. He has not been getting a lot of pitches inside the strike zone, and he's been laying off a lot of those pitches. Used to be very susceptible low and in. Breaking balls, sliders, back foot, breaking balls from righties. He's kind of taken that out of the equation. He's quieted down his mechanics a lot. And he's going with no batting gloves this time.
Yeah. Changed the karma, I guess.
Drives this ball out into right center, but the wind blowing in, not going to help it. And Brantley makes the catch.
Didn't quite get the head out on that one.
There's Bryant and now Schwarber in the on-deck circle for Montero. Say Kyle Schwarber wore a uniform number in the 70s, maybe 74 in spring training. With Bryant wore like 76. Schwarber now wearing Alfonso Soriano's old number 12. That's a big league number. Comes a right-hander on an 0-2, and it's high. Strike 3 called on the outside corner to end the inning. We'll go to the ninth. All Cleveland tonight, 5-zip.
Him in the game as a DH, get his feet wet for the next couple of days, give him a taste what it's like. I talked to him about the ability now to get some firsts out of the way, which the next time he come up should permit it to be somewhat more comfortable, know what to expect, because the next time he comes up it's going to be under different circumstances where things may be even hotter. I've asked him to be himself. I asked him to take snapshots, mental snapshots, to really enjoy the moment. And if he's a little freaked out, to understand that that's normal.
Great stuff from Joe Madden. So here he is, Kyle Schwarber, in his major league debut, 22 years old, from Middletown, Ohio. Grew up a Reds fan, went to Indiana University. And a year after he was drafted, he's in the big leagues as Lindor singles off Zach Rosscup to start the Cleveland ninth. Again, Schwarber will be with the club through Sunday, and then we'll head to AAA Iowa.
Quick peek at his cheat sheet there, the scouting report on Brantley.
He's walked twice, knocked in a run with a double, retired on a diving play by Coughlin back in the 5th. I suppose it's just one game here and then a 2-game series in Cleveland, but I'd rather just say it's a 3-game series. It's different uniforms. Right? 3 in a row against the same team?
Yeah.
Can we make an executive decision?
I think so.
Okay. So this is the first of a 3-gamer. Mark Zepchinski up in the Cleveland pen. Between Giovanni Urshela and Mark Zepchinski, they've got all 26 letters of the alphabet,
don't they? Yeah.
Well, we got a pretty good look at Schwarber during spring training. He actually hit a grand slam in his Cactus League debut against the Giants. And just being around him, the maturity is pretty impressive. That ball hit a ton to deep right. DeNorfie is back, and he's got just enough room as the wind kept that ball in the ballpark. And a very loud first out off the bat of Brantley.
Boy, hard not to be impressed by Brantley with his approach at the plate.
Here's Santana, the big 3-run homer in the 3rd inning.
Early in the ball game, there's a lot of walks and strikeouts and one big swing of the bat from Santana. It's indeed a game changer.
T-Mobile game changer tonight. Switch hitter batting right-handed. He's added 2 walks. Talking with Mike Borzello earlier this year about Schwarber. And he said, for a 22-year-old, best I've ever had. He said, you tell him something once and you don't have to tell it to him twice. And that, you know, we use the word talent and we don't really define what talent is, but I think that's a part of it. The ability to take in information. Hey, can you try this or try that? Yep, got it. Boom, done.
Yes, especially in the modern game for a catcher, with all the information that is pushed onto them. I mean, they know every hitter's, or have access to every hitter's batting average and every count on every kind of pitch.
Line shot, left field corner. Lindor on his way to 3rd. Mike Sarbaugh, their third base coach, will send him. Coughlin had a little trouble with it out there on the track. It's an RBI double, and it's 6-0.
Well, the Cubs have gone down 1-2-3, 1-2-3, 1-2-3. Pretty much since the 3rd inning, the Indians continue to play add-on here.
Brandon Moss. The Indians are under 500, but they could say, yeah, but if it weren't for the Detroit Tigers, we'd be in good shape. They're 2-7 versus Detroit. And they're 27-24 against everybody else. 27-26, I should say, but over 500. This is the rest of baseball. Miguel Cabrera, you see what he's done against them?
I know he wears them out.
He is 22 out of 34, 5 homers, 15 RBIs in 9 games against the Indians.
They should tear up the scouting report.
Three balls and a strike.
Cardinals have 1. Pirates have 1. Reds have 1. The rest of the Central Division in pretty good shape tonight. The Brewers getting beat by Kansas City 7-1. Royals have banged out 17 hits. What's going on here with Roscoe?
Well, Phil Cuzzi coming out with the pitching coach. And what do we have?
They're going to shut him down.
Yeah, I think Bosio was Telling Cuzzy this is about a possible injury. So he saw something that didn't look right to him. Roscup seems to be insistent that he's okay, but I don't think they're buying it. And he's pointing at his arm.
Joe's already going to the lineup card. He's made up his mind.
So we're going to have a Weber's Sauces and Seasonings call to the pen. Why grill with anything else? Justin Grimm will get as much time as he needs, and we'll be right back. Expecting to have to pitch in this spot. Zach Roscup leaving due to an apparent injury.
Yeah, always unsettling when you see a pitcher point to either his elbow or his shoulder, and that's where Zach was pointing to the front of his shoulder. Hopefully nothing more than a little inflammation. And the key for Justin Grimm here is when you come in this situation is don't feel hurried just because there's 20,000 or so folks waiting for it to get ready to go. You want to make sure you're plenty warmed up because you can't afford to get hurt as well. The velocity readings for Roscup, sometimes that's an indication of a guy's a little tender. He just doesn't quite have the giddy up on the fastball. So here's a hypothetical for you.
Yeah, you know, you're showing like 91.
Does he?
That's not.
He's usually got a little more.
Yeah.
Hypothetical.
Okay.
Rule change, or if it were allowed. At what point, if it were within the rules of the game, for a manager to throw in the towel, would a manager be willing to do so? Say there was a rule in baseball that after the 7th inning, the manager could just say, okay, we're done. I don't want to use any more bullpen guys. I want to save my pen to fight another day.
Yeah,
would it be down 5 runs, 6 runs? What's that cutoff point?
Well, Tampa Bay used 2 position players to pitch in a 16-4 loss.
Yeah, I guess that's the version. That's the using a position player to pitch. I guess is the. But they never do that in a 5-run game. It's only in a really lopsided game.
19-3, Baltimore beat the Phillies. But here's, I guess, the other part of it. If you're the other team and you have more games to go in that series, the idea that you want that team to waste its bullpen is part of the strategy.
You would have the option of accepting the towel or not. We're throwing it back at you.
Right.
You have to finish this game, pal.
So both teams would have to agree.
Yeah.
I got you. Moss swings and misses, 3-2.
I mean, I'm not proposing it. I don't think it should ever come to that. But I guarantee you, right? If you're Joe Madden right now, you're thinking, we got 3 outs to play with. We haven't had a base runner in ages here tonight. We're down 6 runs. I'd rather not use Grimm here tonight. So jump on the airplane and fly to Cleveland.
Ball 4. I believe that walk would be charged to Ross Cup. It is. One of those quirks of baseball. If Grimm were to retire Moss in that spot, he would have been given the credit for the out. He's not charged with the walk. Fouled by Gomes. Nothing in 2. One and 2. Run in. And the Indians threatening to get some more. Curveball bounces. So Yoshiwada tomorrow night against Sean Markham in Cleveland. Bounce to Bryant. And they'll only get 1. So 2 outs, runners at first and third. Here's Murphy. 0 for 2 tonight. Start the game came in after Michael Bourne was ejected. That is a strike on 95. So some winners tonight. Chris Young of the Royals, he improved to 6-2. Tim Lincecum got his 7th win. Michael Wacha won earlier today over Minnesota. He's 9-2. You mentioned Charlie Morton, part of a shutout performance against the White Sox, 5-0. Matt Harvey beat the Blue Jays 3-2, so he's now 7-4. Bobby Parnell.
He's back,
and he got his first save. Swing and the miss.
The Mets beat the Blue Jays yesterday, snapping their long winning streak. They won both games in that 2-game set.
They have tied their club record with 11 in a row, but dropped the last 2. That Phillies loss in Baltimore, that's their 12th in a row on the road. Called strike 3 to end the inning. Here comes in for the injured Ross Cup and gets out of it. It's 6-0 Indians. Paul Mark Zepchinski will make his 31st appearance and will face a guy making his major league debut tonight. Kyle Schwarber will lead it off for the Cubs.
Zepchinski, a loogie, a left-handed one-out only guy. Hence the loogie. You see 30 appearances, but only 14 in the 3rd innings of work.
So pitcher number 12, Kyle Schwarber. So a lot of the fans have headed to the exits. This big crowd of 35,914, but fans who have remained giving Schwarber a nice ovation. What has he done? He has hit everywhere. Minor leagues career .333, .432, .610 slash line. 0-2 on him.
It generates a lot of bat speed.
Only 130 minor league games. Called strike 3. Well, that didn't take long. And Zepchinski strikes out Schwarber. And gets the first one out of the way. And he will be in the lineup tomorrow night. In there on Castro. Cubs have just 4 hits tonight. And they've all been singles. Bryant, Denorfia, and Russell has 2. That's been it.
Cubs have not had a base runner since Russell's single leading off the 5th. Castro 0 for 2 plus a walk tonight.
Brian Shaw, a right-hander, is up in the Indians' pen just in case Zepchinski gets into some trouble. Jason Beret behind him, the bullpen coach and a former Chicago Cub.
Hanging in there to the bitter end.
Doors had a busy and smooth night at short. Hasn't had a ton of tough plays, but looks like a good one. In a lot of ways, especially middle infielders, JD, when they come up to the big leagues, they can all kind of make the flashy play, but it's the routine stuff that you find out more about them.
Yeah, I think of the things that scouts are looking for, just their actions. They get good breaks on the ball. They have quick feet.
Strike to Coughlin.
You would love to have spectacular out there in the middle of the diamond, but most managers would settle for dependable.
Ouch. Ooh, got him in the
buzzing back elbow.
left elbow. Backs up Santana. He will feed Zepchinski at first, and that'll do it. So the Indians come in here. They get rained out last night, but shut out the Cubs tonight 6-0. Trevor Bauer, 7 spectacular innings. You mentioned dependable or spectacular. He was more than dependable for sure.
Yeah, the Cubs have not played a lot of these games this year where you just feel like they were never really in it, and that's kind of the feel this game took on after the 3-run home run by Santana. The way Bauer settled in, Cubs had a good shot at him in the 3rd, stranded the bases loaded, but after that really had no significant scoring chances at all.
So we'll head off to Cleveland to finish this 3-game stretch against the Indians, and our Benny's Beverage Depot toast of the game is the starter and the winner for Cleveland in his Wrigley Field debut, Trevor Bauer.
Yeah, 24-year-old right-hander with good stuff. We saw the fastball up around 95 miles an hour, very sharp breaking ball. A couple different looks with the changeup. And Trevor Bauer looks like a pretty solid top of the rotation type guy.
We hope Zach Rosscup is okay. He had to leave due to an apparent injury. Your final score tonight: Indians 6, Cubs nothing. And we're back with you on CSN. Same 2 teams, different uniforms. Will be in Cleveland. Cubs and the Tribe at 6 Central. Now for JD and our entire crew here at Wrigley Field, Len Casper inviting you to stay tuned as our coverage continues. Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs post-game live is next.